Good morning. It's another beautiful, startlingly beautiful morning in Panama. It was cool. We're starting to go into now the wetter season. We haven't really had a lot of rain, but there's no humidity in the air today, believe it or not, even though we're going into the wet season. There's been earthquakes. So it's lovely. It's lovely and fresh. So I just thought I'd come online and share a really good resource. I kind of will synthesize this podcast on Next Level Soul that I watched yesterday, and I like his work, the fellow in Next Level Soul. He has some really good guests, and he's been doing an awful lot of research and having guests on that have had near-death experiences. And I believe that those are a fascinating glimpse into who we are, that we're not just the meat suit, this materialistic way of looking at things, that we're just the meat suit, and that when we die, there's nothing. I think that these near-death experiences, what other conclusion can you come to? There's just really no other conclusion that you can come to. That we're connected to a field of energy. We are a field of energy. We are a field of energy that has come down here on this earth plane to have an experience. So this guest was she was priceless. She was wonderful. And I think that it gives good hope to everybody that it doesn't matter what your circumstances are, and that there is a connection with something else, and that there's a purpose why we're here, and that anybody, once they know the programs, can change and understand that we are programmed. And they get into, in the beginning of the discussion, and I'll share the link for it, they discuss the first 7 years of life and how we are just absorbing everything. It's how we are programmed in the subconscious. Children are in this theta wave, right, which is like a completely opened, right? They're in subconscious mind. It's how they learn, and they mirror what you do. We do it as human beings, right? These mirror neurons, that's what that's all about. And so they talk about this. So the guest's name is Betty, and I hope I don't slaughter this name, Betty Gottesson. And she would be probably in her 40s now, but she was a very, 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 very heavy drug user, heroin, like heavy drugs. Her parents both died by suicide. They were drug addicts, and all she ever saw and she talks about it, is that first 7 years of life, her parents would take pills or drink or this or that or food or to run away from pain. And God bless this woman. I just love her. She's, totally sober. She had this near-death experience, and she's just very, I like her. I think that you will find the podcast incredibly interesting and good for the soul. Next level soul. So one of her phrases that I just love, I'm going to make a meme out of it and share it and put it, give her credit because it's hers. Use your pain for purpose. Turn it into your power. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Because that's exactly it. Pain is not a goblin. You cannot run away from it. You need to face it head on. Right? And she discusses how she faced her pain. And I understand the process of facing pain with my own alcoholism and drug addiction and being on the street. So, and that I too was told, you'll never, people like you, once I'd already amounted to something, I was successful. I still am successful. I was told by a social worker, well, people like you, when she heard my story, well, people like you usually don't succeed. Well, you see, that's bullcrap. If the system thinks that, how easy is it to succeed? So this woman gets into the synchronicities in life, right? And how they all fell into place. And she speaks about the journey we're on. We are on the hero's journey. It is the hero's journey, right? For each and every one of us. And it's to awaken to the fact that that is what's going on, right? That this is a hero's journey that we're on. And it's not meant to be easy. And the challenges are what rosin the blade and make us strong and make us who we are. And listening to another thing that just reinforces where I see this going in our world, this bifurcation, which means to branch off, is Greg Braden speaks a lot of this, and John Peterson, and from the Arlington, and I like their work. They to me that resonates with my heart about this journey that we're on, and what's happening and where we need to go in this bifurcation, right? Where we have sort of like the pure human, right, that has said, no, technology is a tool and I will use it as a tool. And then we have this other section, right, that is headed towards total totalitarian technocracy into transhumanism. And it's coming very rapidly, 2030. It's only 4.5 years, right? And so there's this branching off. So I thought it was really great to watch this woman and help us to understand who we are. We really have to start remembering now who we are, because we don't really want to get funneled into that. I don't think you want to get funneled into the transhumanism. As much as it sounds delightful and they're going to make the world a utopia with all these implants and this and nanotechnology, it's everywhere. It's in the news everywhere. You see it. And actually they've been doing it covertly, because that's what's in the shit that they spray in the air. It's in your food. It's everywhere. These small nano, they're playing around with God particles and particles that they don't understand. And we don't really have any knowledge of what kind of really nefarious stuff these people have been up to with your tax money and keeping us all in this play of. And you can see in this podcast that the importance of the first 7 years and understanding as adults that we get programmed and that you can break the program. And it is the power of you that breaks the program, and finding community, right? I am a complete introvert. I always have been. Always. I grew up on my own. I was born alone, basically, because I was taken from my mother. But I need to be around people, right? Even here, people that don't speak. You can speak to people that can't speak. I'm learning more and more Spanish, right? But we need engagement with other people, not just through the machine. So there really is this bifurcation that is happening, and that we need to be very mindful that we don't get mind controlled. Even those who consider themselves to be awake and fighting for freedom, that we don't inadvertently go down this trail that we really don't want. We don't want people to control our minds with energy, because they have the technology with that. 5G, it is. These are weapons, mind weapons, that are being used against people. And how can you fight something when you don't even realize it's happening to you? It's by stay in the middle path and the healthy path and the human path, because that's what you are. I don't think you want to lose that. And the birth rates are falling staggeringly so that we're not able to, even Elon Musk, I don't know what that's all about. Gloating, because he's all a part of this. I don't think he's, Mr. Sunshine Lollipops, because he's not. Right, about the falling fertility rate. And when I see what's happening in Panama, you see, before people didn't have really disposable income. They didn't. It's been a third world country, economically wise, and it still is. I do apologize for the sound. It still is, right? Because the wages are awfully low, but they're giving debt. And they're also giving, Coca-Cola, and every commercial that comes on when I'm on my phone, because I'm on a Panamanian, right, when I go on. So I get the advertising for here. It's all garbage. Coca-Cola, cerveza, beer, alcohol, poor food choices, processed food. You're going to see the health. And you see everywhere you go, there's pharmacies. They're everywhere. And people are really, when you have a symptom, you go and get something from the pharmacy. They trust their pharmacists and their doctors to the nth, like in Western countries. We can see how that's happened. I'm sure that Canada is right there with the United States as having the most expensive with the worst outcomes anywhere, because it's not because of a failure of the system. The system is meant to be like that because it's a profit industry off your sickness and suffering. right? And so hence taking your power back and getting involved in understanding who you really are and the consciousness that you possess, and that pain is a power. It gives you purpose to get through your pain and to understand. You can take that and the empathy that you develop to yourself for the pain that you go through, not in an egotistic way, but to understand, to take that out to the rest of humanity as a purpose, right? To be of service here on this plane. So I'll leave that with you. I hope that people are doing some meditation, getting rid of poisons that are in your kitchen and in your home, right? Like Teflon pans, anything with Teflon. The cooking sprays, don't use those, right? Little olive oil, little coconut oil, butter. Growing up, it was always beef tallow. We always had beef tallow, right? We didn't use vegetable. It was just started sort of in the 60s, Crisco, which is a vegetable oil. It's kind of one of the first ones, right? And then from there. So it's all within your hands. Even though this stuff is happening here, we are connected to a higher being and a higher purpose. So have a good day. Focus on your breathing throughout the day. And I will attach the podcast from Next Level Soul. Really good information. And I think you'll find it a very interesting listen. Okay, have a good day.